So now we're going to go through the tools that are required for your grooming. And I'm going to start off with probably your most expensive item, clippers. We have those with electric mains power that plug in, and we also have the cordless. I'll start with these. These Max Mosers are probably the most comfortable that you're going to use, and I would recommend that you spend the money on good clippers rather than buying cheap clippers, and you're looking to spend somewhere £100 plus for these. These clippers are cordless, considerably more expensive, double the price probably, but they're probably more for the professional groomer when they've been grooming for a while. They are very easy to handle, but they work in exactly the same way as your corded clippers. I'll now show you how to take a blade on and off, as this is really important to do correctly so as not to damage your blade or the clippers. At the back of the clippers is a small latch. We depress the latch, lift the blade, don't pull the blade. It's really important that you lift it and take the blade off. So now we need to know how to put that back on again. Again, hold the clippers in your hand. We don't need the latch this time. We slide the blade on the latch. We turn the clippers on and we depress the blade, and it's as simple as that. When we use the clippers, we are going to need to lubricate the blade to keep it cool and keep it clean. So here we have the clipper lubricant. We spray a little amount on the blade, and it's very, very simple. That's all we have to do to use them. Here we have a small brush. This will brush the hair out of the blade for you when you're actually working with the dog. You'll see me do that later on in the DVD. Here we have the 7F blade. This blade will actually slide to the left and slide to the right, but do not slide the whole blade and take it apart. Just take your brush, brush off any loose hair, slide the blade back again, brush off the loose hair, slide it back in its finishing position, and that's now ready to use. Scissors. You can pay a lot of money, you can pay virtually nothing for your scissors, but you get what you pay for. So I would recommend you buy yourself a reasonable pair of scissors, take care of them, and they make such a difference to the finish of your dog. Here I'll start with the small scissors that we use on the feet. They're bull-nosed, that's for your safety and the dog's safety. Price probably between £20 and £25, so not a great expense. Here I have a pair of curved scissors, probably more for the professional groomer. We use these a lot on your Bichons and your Poodles, and they're great for going around the bottom of feet. And here we have a straight pair of scissors. And these are just an all-purpose pair of scissors for scissoring legs, heads, around the eyes and finishing your dog. You can be paying anything from £30 to £800. Now, something that is just as important as buying your scissors is the maintenance to make them last longer. For this, you're going to need some scissor oil. Very cheap. You can use Singer sewing machine oil for this. So every time you use your scissors, or if you are not a professional groomer and only use them occasionally, which is probably once a week, but for the professional groomer, we're going to do this every week. So we put a spot of oil on the screw there, a spot on the blade where the metal meets, turn it over, do the same on the other side, spot on that blade and a spot round the screw. That will keep your scissors running nice and free. You don't want to see little circles when you open the blade. That means you haven't been keeping it lubricated. They're too dry and it'll damage the blade. Another little tip, if you drop your scissors on the floor, and I'd recommend you don't pick them up and close them. If they fall on the floor like that, take the blades, turn your scissors over, hold the blades apart and carefully close them. The reason for that, if you have a nick on your blade, you shut them like that, you'll put a nick on the other blade. Then I would say don't use your scissors until you've sent them off to be resharpened. Next we'll cover nail clippers. I like these clippers. These are nice and simple and easy to use, and probably the most important thing is that they're sharp. Dull nail clippers won't clip your nails cleanly. Now, here I also have some Quick Stop. It's a sulfur-based product. It has lots of names. It's called Quick, Pause, Diptych, whatever it is. The object of this is, should you catch the nail and make it bleed, you need to be able to stop it. It's a yellow sulfury powder. Take a pad I would have this ready before you actually clip your dog's nails, because once they're bleeding, you won't have time to grab it. Put a little bit of the powder on the pad, take the dog's nail and put the dog's nail into the pad. Now don't check it in 10 seconds, it won't have stopped bleeding by then. Stand there for 3 or 4 minutes and that'll solve your problem and stop it bleeding. It cauterizes it. Whatever you do, don't leave an open tub of this on the top of your grooming table. It's corrosive, it'll damage your equipment. So make sure you put the top on and put it away as soon as you're finished with it. Right, a couple of minor items I'm just going to show you this time. You may not use them. If you're a professional groomer, you'll use them. This will save you a lot of time and effort on your dog if he's got a few knots. It's a Mickey dematter, costs you £2.50, £3. This will take out any small knots and mats that you might have in your dog. It has a small razor blade in it. Don't be put off by that. Used with care, it'll do no damage to your dog and save you a lot of hard work. The other thing I have here is a little flea comb, a nit comb. Great for cleaning out under the eyes of the dogs when they get a bit of sleep or a bit of matter under there. This is probably a couple of pounds. Right, brushes. There are a myriad of brushes on the market and different groomers have different ideas which ones they like, which ones they don't like. Again, you can spend a lot of money or you can find something quite cheaply, but I think you get what you pay for. I'm going to show you the most common brush that is probably on the market today, and this is a slicker brush. It's quite harsh, quite hard on your dog. Put it on your hand and brush across your hand and you feel how hard it is, and you'll know now why your dog barks and bites and doesn't like it at all. Here, however, we have the Pooch Brush. This is a great invention, came out in the last few years. Many groomers use them. It cuts down our work by at least 50%. Again, we've got the little hooks like a slicker brush, but it's really soft on the top. These come in lots of different types. We have soft, medium, hard, but for today, we only really need to use one brush. Run this across your hand and you'll see how much softer it is and how much easier it is to use on your dog. It's also really good for the experienced groomer who might have carpal tunnel after years and years of grooming. I use these Pooch brushes most of the time. The difference between these brushes, besides the price, this one is probably £4, this one is £25, and this one will pay for itself in a professional environment, and I highly recommend it for you if you're just a pet owner as well. It's far more comfortable on your dog. Now, the important thing about these is the maintenance. These brushes will damage if you don't take care of them, so don't chuck them in a box and pile things on top of them, and don't be rough with them and pull the hair out. I'm going to take my comb and show you how to clean this brush. Any hair that's in the brush, take your comb from the top down. That will take out loose hair. You'll probably see me do it later on as we brush out the dogs. Take care of your brush, it'll last you for years. Don't take care of it, you'll be changing it within a month. Combs. Again, there's a myriad of combs on the market. You really only need two. The little flea comb that I showed you earlier and a medium coarse greyhound style comb. I like a bit of bling, that's why I have this one, but you don't need anything with fancy colours. Maintenance, none really, just don't chuck it on the floor, that's all. Right, here we have a palm pad, £2, very cheap, great for your smooth coated breeds. Just pop your hand in it and use it down the back of your dog. Again, I can show you later on a smooth coated dog, but it's just as important to brush and comb out your smooth coated dog as it is your long coated dogs. So that's a palm pad, just chuck it in the washing machine when it gets dirty. Here we have some ear cleaner, really important to check your dog's ears regularly and make sure that they're clean. This ear cleaner, not very expensive, probably £6 or £7, and you don't need a bottle this large. This is the professional grooming one. Very easy to use. I use cotton pads. Buy these anywhere, about £2 a pack. Put your ear cleaner on a pad, a small amount, probably about a teaspoonful to cover the pad. Split the pad and we use one for each ear. Don't use the same pad in both ears just in case your dog has an ear infection. So that's your ear cleaner. I'm going to just tell you very briefly about the dog dryers. Here I have a Double K 9000. It's the dryer that I personally like using, but there are a lot on the market that are equally as good, and you'll be paying anything from £250 on up for a dog dryer. This is a professional dryer. used by the professional groomer. If you're doing your dog at home, I'd recommend you just use a handheld dryer, your own hair dryer, but run it on cool. Just a few more odds and ends that I use as well. We might not use them today. Here I have a dematting product that can be used along with your brush. I have some ear powder, very useful for pulling hair out of the dog's ears. And I have 3 more of the Pooch brushes that we probably won't use today. We probably won't need them. Those are just more brushes, as I said earlier. And in here, it's just a tin to keep my ear pads in, to keep the hair off them. Okay, we've now looked at all the tools that we're going to use today. And now we're going to start on the really important bit, and the bit you've been waiting for, actually grooming the dog. Toby's all ready and waiting in the cage. We're going to go wake him up and get on with it.